Hello and welcome to Automate Code. Thank you for joining Automate Code again. In the previous example, we have discussed how you can create Excel file and then how you can check if an Excel file is exist in your computer. And then we have added like we have written some data into the Excel file that we have created. We have saved that file and then we have learned how to open an existing Excel file. Now, in this video, we will start discussing from where we left off in the previous video. In the previous video, we have we have um, we have checked if an if Excel file is exist, and if it exists, then we are opening that Excel file by this command, and then we have written some data into that Excel file and we saved it. In this and also if that file doesn't exist, again we have created that file and then added some data and then saved that Excel file. In this video, what we are going to do, let me show you one thing here. If you come here, so this Excel file that we have previously created and written some data into it, we are going to add a little bit more thing that we didn't discuss on that video. So we'll be adding something like this. Okay, time when this data is written. So we will keep another column, and in that column what we are going to do, we are going to add something like this 2016, and then we are going to add what is that month is 09, and what is the date 03, and then we will be adding, let's say we will be adding uh, the time as well. So what is the time now? The time is now 12. Actually, let me give an space here. 12 and 12:48, and let's say some second, let's say 25. So what we will do, we will add something like this. Whenever we are writing data, we will be adding a timestamp with each of the row. So that is what our goal. Now, and also we will previously we have learned how to use function library, and we have also learned how to return data from a function. So we will create another function library and we will write a function that will return something like this. Okay, now let me go back there. So what we are looking for here, we are adding cell 11 student, cell 12 age, and cell 13. So in cell 13 we are going to write time when this data is written. Okay, so let me go there. So we have in cell 12 we have age, and in cell 13 Excel sheet dot cells, and then in cell 13 dot value, we are going to add here, we are going to add something like this. Okay, time when data is written. And in cell, see here, in cell 21 we have a name, in cell 22 we have his age, and in cell 23 we will be writing something like this when this data is written into this Excel file. So to do that, what we are going to do in cell 23, in cell 23, in cell 23, we will write something like the 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 timestamp. Now, to read the timestamp, we will do something. Okay, we do not know what we will be writing it here, but we will decide what we will be writing. Again, in cell 33, in cell 33, we will be writing the timestamp. Okay, so let's keep it simple. Let's say we will be writing timestamp. Okay, okay. Now the same thing, if the file exists, we will be opening the file and we'll be writing the timestamp. Let me remove this. Okay, now see one thing here. This timestamp that we are going to write, we will have to generate that timestamp. To generate the timestamp, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new function library. Add a new function library, and I will give function library um, misc function library, miscellaneous function library. Okay, now I'm creating this. Actually, there is something. I'll have to remove this from here. Remove. Now add associate function library. I'll associate this function library here. So first I have created the function library, and then now I have associated the function library with this action. Okay, now in that function library I'm going to create a function. For what function? I'm putting a comment here, function to create time stamp. Okay, and then let me write the actual function. Let me give name as generate time stamp. Okay, now see how timestamp works. See how timestamp works. Let me show you. So in BB scripting, there are some method already written that generate that times for us. So one of the method is date, and if you say date, let's say actually if you say year and now, then it will return what is the current year. So let's store it in a variable int year. Okay, and then we are going to write month. Let's say month now, and then let's say day, and here day now, and then let's say hour, hour now, and then let's say minute, and here minute now, and then let's say seconds, and here let's say second now. Okay, and then we are going to add, see, let me call let me call this function from our action. So to call this function from our action, let me just call this function from here. Okay, and let me put a breakpoint here, and let me execute from this step. Run from step. Okay, now if you see here, if you go to your local variables, I'm trying to bring the local variables. See here, int year is 2016, and month now, can you see? Month now is 9. Now it is September, and day today is 3rd of May, 3rd of September, and then what is the hour is 12 o'clock now, and what is the minute 57, and what is the second? So second is 42. So these, now we have this data. We have this data here. If you go to the function library, we have this data in these variables. Now we will combine this variable to make it like we have something like this. So we will combine all this data to make the timestamp like this. Okay, so and then we want to return this timestamp from this function. So you already know that if you want to return a data from your function library to where you are calling the function from, then you will have to, in the function name, you will have to assign that data. Now what you are trying to assign, you are trying to assign, let's say, int year. Okay, this year, and then you are going to add, you are trying to going to add a hyphen, and then after the hyphen you are going to add the month. Okay, after the hyphen you are going to add the month, and then after the month again you are going to add another hyphen, and after that you are going to add the day. Okay, and then you are going to add an space. Okay, like this. So you have year hyphen month hyphen date, and then you have a space, and then you have the whole time. Now to add the space we will do this. Okay, and then after that we want to add the int hour together, everything together, and int minute ampersand int second. Okay, so now it will return a timestamp. Okay, so let's say when you are calling it, let's say you save this timestamp. As you said, when you are calling this function from here, it is actually bringing back something from the function library. What is that? It is bringing the timestamp. Timestamp equal to this one, and then print you want to print that timestamp. Okay, you want to print that timestamp. Now if I execute this one again, okay, let me execute it from here. Let's see how it work for us. Okay, so let's go to this. Let's call this function, and now we are in the function library. You can see that we are in function library, and now it is bringing piece by piece in year, and then month, and then hour, day, and then hour. So it is bringing that piece by piece data into the variables, and by using all of these variables that we have here, so in this line, in line number 9 in the function library, we are generating the actual timestamp. Now if you execute this line, can you see we have 2016 9 3, and then it is what is the time now in my virtual machine? It is 13 2, and then second is 34. You can see that, if the data, like if it is month 9, normally we write it 09, and if the date is 3, we write it 03, but it is not adding the 3, it is just putting the number. So again, in time, can you see now it was 102 when we were generating this time number, timestamp. Can you see it is 13? That means 1, and then the minute was 2, but it didn't add that 0 here. Okay, so we will have to do that, but let me go back. So can you see here in the timestamp, now when we call this function, it brought something from the function library and stored it in timestamp. And then can you see here, now we are trying to print the timestamp in the output, right? So that is how we are generating a timestamp, and then we are bringing it in the action to use it in our Excel. Okay, now let me stop this execution here, and let me do a quick modification in our timestamp function, so that we can instead of writing, can you see 9, we will be writing 09, instead of writing 3, we will be writing 03, and here in the minute where it is 2, we will be writing 02. So let's do this quick modification here, and then we will be moving forward with writing those data with timestamp in our Excel file. Now, if you go to the function library, can you see here, before we generate the timestamp, let's do a quick comparison. If, let's say, this month, if this month is, let's say, this month less than 10, and then what we want to do, we want to add a 0 with the month. Now let's do month equal to um, we are adding a 0 with with this existing month. Okay, and same thing we will be doing for day. If the day is less than 10, then we will be adding a 0 with the day. Now let's take a look. We have made the modification here. So we are saying that if our month is less than 10, then add a 0 with the month. If our day is less than 10, add a 0 with the day. And similar way, if hour, minute, and second, if anything is less than 10, then we are adding a 0. And now you can see that the previously it was writing 093, now it is writing 0903, and previously it was writing 132, now it is writing 1307. That means if the minute is less than 10, then it is adding a 0 with it. Okay, so let's do one thing. Let me execute this block of code, and then I will be implementing it to write into our Excel file. Okay, see now if I call this function, let's take a look here. Now let's take a look at our local variables. You can see that our year, month is only 9 without 0, and then we have our hour, day, hour, and then we have our minute, and then we have our second. Okay, now our month, can you see, month is 9, but we are comparing, is it less than 10? Yes, it is less than 10. Then we are, see what will happen if we execute line number 11. See what it is doing, it is adding the 0 with month. In the similar way, our day is less than 10, so it will be adding 0 with the day. And see what happens, our hour is not less than 10, our minute is not less than 10, so it will not be adding uh, 0 with our hour or minute or second. Now see here, now when you generate your timestamp, can you see, it looks good, 2016-09-03 and then 1310. Now it is more understandable. Okay, now if you go back to the function, see if you print it, see here, now it is printing the timestamp as, as a real timestamp. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop execution here, and then I'm going to call this function over there inside my if and else block, so that um, I can write the timestamp in my Excel file. Okay, so um, let's take a look here. Let's go back to our action. Now let me copy this line. Actually, let me cut this line from here because I just added it here to show you. Now actually, after writing the age of debit, here I want to bring the timestamp, and then this timestamp I am saving it in 23. Okay, again, see, before I write timestamp for for this data for Mike, again I will call the timestamp function again to call another timestamp to create another timestamp. Okay, and I'll do the same thing, here for my else block. Okay, so I'm doing the same thing here for my else block, and then I'm writing the timestamp. Now let me close this file, and let me execute it again to show you how it works. Okay, now you can see that we are in line number 7, and we are going step by step. First we are creating an Excel object, and then creating a file system object, and then giving the file path, and then making the Excel visible like this, and then we are checking here if this file exists. We already know that this file already exists. Okay, and then so it will not go to the if block, instead it will go to the else block. So now we are in else block. Now it will be printing something. Let me clear output before I move forward. So now it is printing file exists, now opening, and then see here, it has opened that file. Okay, now we are going to, now we have old data. See, we have written the data at 1248, right? Now let me write the new data. So I'm writing student name, age, okay, time when, see here, now I'm writing here time when the data is written. So now I'm writing debit. See, I already have debit, but I am overwriting the debit and his age here, and then I will be overwriting the timestamp. Now if I keep going, I'm writing debit, and now I will be writing the, I will be generating the timestamp. See how I'm generating the timestamp, and if you keep going, see, it is generating the timestamp for us. If you go to your local variables, you can see here that you have month 9, so it is making this month 09. Okay, see, it is making this month 09. Then you have day, 3. So it is making the day 03, and then you have hour, minute, second, everything is greater than 10. So it will not it will not be adding a zero with them, and can you see timestamp is zero empty right now? But if you execute this line, now you have a modest timestamp. So now if you come back here, can you see if you in your local variable timestamp is a timestamp? So now we are in this line, so it should write the timestamp for David. So now it is 12:48, but now it should write 13 15 37. Okay, so if you go there, can you see it has written 13 15 37, and then similar way it will be writing it will be writing the data for Mike, and then and then where are we? Now it is writing, now it is going to generate another timestamp for us so that it can write into the line for Mike. See how it is working. It is generating another timestamp for us, and here now we have the previous timestamp that we have written here is 13 15 37. Now you will see it is 13 17 11. Can you see this is a different timestamp, 13 17 11. Okay, now if you come here, see we have now in timestamp we have that new timestamp. So previously in Mike's line we have 12:48 25, 12:48 25. Now see what happens if I execute this line. If you go there, can you see it is 13 17 11. So in that way in that way now it is quitting the it saved it and it is quitting the Excel, and it is exiting out from the code. So see here, see here what we did so far. We have added, we have uh, used a function library to generate a timestamp, and then we have written the timestamp to our Excel. From the function library we have returned that we have returned that timestamp, and then we have written that timestamp into our Excel. Now in the next step, what I'm going to do, I'm going to read I'm going to read the data that I have in that Excel file. I have some data, but I'm going to read the data from Excel and print it. So in this part, what we are going to do, we are going to read this data from Excel, like whatever we have in Excel, we will be reading it and we will be printing it in the output. So let me quickly do this, but um, before that, let me. So I'm pausing this video for a short while, and then I will be restarting recording. So guys, I'm trying to keep this video short so that if the video is too long, sometimes it becomes it becomes hard to follow the video. So what I'm going to do, I already prepared some code over there. So what I'll do, if the file exists in the current script, we are still writing a new set of data with new timestamp. But right now what I'm going to do, if that file exists, I'm not going to write another time. I'm going to read the data from that Excel. So what I'm going to do here, see, I'll bring this block and I will explain this block what I'm going to do here. So I'll bring this block here, and I'll be putting it in our script here, and let me tell you what we are doing here. So this is how to read data from Excel. So first what we are doing here, we are opening that Excel, and then we are setting the sheet from where we are trying to read data. So we are trying to read data from sheet 1. Okay, so I'm setting sheet 1 equal to I'm setting the sheet in Excel sheet, and then I'm reading can you see Excel sheet dot use range dot rows dot count. So by this line I am reading how many data I have in that worksheet. How many rows of data I have? One, two, three. I have three rows. So how will I read it? So I am writing this command Excel sheet dot used range dot rows dot count. So I am counting how many rows of data I have, and then I am executing a for loop from I equal to 1 to row. Let me give the name as num of rows. Okay, and then let me bring this name here. Okay, so what it will do, let's say, let me execute this block. So what it will do, it will come here and it will see that we have three rows here, and then it will read all of the data rows by rows from this Excel worksheet. So again, when you are reading data from Excel, can you see what you are doing? Excel sheet, again Excel sheet cells first, for the first iteration I equal to 1, so it will be reading 1 1 dot value, and it will be printing 1 1 dot value, and then 1 2 dot value, and 1 3 dot value. So it will be printing this row, student, age, and time when this data is written. And for I equal to 2, it will be reading 2 1 2 2 2 3. For I equal to 3, it will be reading 3 1 3 2 3 3 3 3 in that way. So let me execute this block. Let me execute this block, and let me show you how it works. All right, so see here again, we are creating the Excel object. Let me We are creating the Excel object, we are setting the path, and then we are making the Excel visible. Can you see we are just creating the Excel object, and then we are checking if this file exists. What is that file? Testexcel.xls. Now we know that testexcel.xls file already exists, so it will go to the else block, right? So it is coming to the else block, and then now it is printing file exists, now opening. Can you see, now it is setting the sheet from where we are going to read the data, and now it is reading the number of rows. Okay, if you go to your local variable, can you see number of rows? 3. Number of rows 3, because we have how many rows of data? 1 2 3. And then we are reading this each row from 1 to 3 by for loop. See here, and then we are printing. Can you see student name? We are actually bringing it from here, from the row. Okay, and then it will be printing age, and then it will be printing time when this data is written. And then now I equal to, now if you look at I equal to 2, so I equal to 2, now it will be reading data from 2 1 2 2 2 3. Okay, so see here, print Excel sheet dot cells I equal to 2 2 1 2 1 dot value. Okay, so can you see it is printing David, and then it will be printing 2 2 age of David, and then it will be printing the time stamp. And then for I equal to 3, it will be printing the data for Mike, because take a look here, for I equal to 3 we have data for Mike. Okay, so now it will be exiting out from the Excel, and it will be saving, and then it will close the Excel. Now take a look here, take a look here. We are doing here, if the file not exist, we are creating the file and writing data. But if the file exists, see, if the file not exist, we are creating the file and writing the data, and then here in line number 35 we are saving the file. But if the file exists, we are opening the file, and then we are reading data from that file. Whatever data is there, we are reading that the data from there. Now let's go there. Let's go there and let me add another row here for um, John. Okay, we are writing another John. Let's say his age is 50. Okay, and what is the time now? 2016, and then it is 09, and then 03, and then what is the time now? It is 13, and then 28. Let's say second is 30. Okay, now we have how many rows? 1 2 3 4. Okay, and let me save it and close. Now if I execute the code, let me show you. Okay, previously, okay, let me cancel it. Previously when we printed, it printed three all the data. We have three rows. Now it should print all the data. So because we have a statement here where we are first reading how many rows of data I have, and then we are going through accordingly in our for loop. Okay, so now again the file exists, so it will go to our else block. Can you see we didn't open any file yet? Now in line number 38 we are going to open the file, and then now we are reading how many rows we have. If you go to your local variables, can you see we do not have like yet how many rows we have. Can you see now we have number of rows is 4 because we have 1 2 3 4 rows of data. Now if you come here, see, um, we are printing, we have started from the first row, and then we will be printing the data from the second row, then we are printing data from the third row, now we are printing data from the fourth row, and then it will be exiting out. Okay, so that is how that is how you can write data into Excel and read those data from the corresponding Excel file. So these procedures, we are learning these procedures so that we can implement our test framework, Q2P test framework, by using Excel. So I will wrap up this session here, and although my session is more than half an hour, but what I will want, please go through all of these sessions, all of these videos that the videos that I am sending you here. Also the video will be in my YouTube channel. If you go to my YouTube channel, you will get the videos in the YouTube channel. So follow the video from there, and in the class tomorrow, if you have any question, I will be answering your question. But make sure that you are going through the videos whatever we have discussed, and you point out your question from the videos, and I will be answering each and every questions that you have, and I will be discussing in details the videos that I sent you. I will be discussing in details of these videos, and these videos will be, you will get these videos in my YouTube channel here. If you go to the YouTube channel, all the videos will be here, and then also if you go to my site, all the videos will be there in my site under this UFT tutorials. So all the videos will be here in this page. Okay, now let me stop recording and let me close this session here. I know it was a long session, but whoever has followed, and um, if you follow this video, I know you it will be really helpful for you. But again, I'm telling you that I'm going to discuss these videos in the class tomorrow. But what I want, you review these videos, you take your time, and then if you have any question, you ask me in the class tomorrow. um, Thank you again, everyone. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for joining this session. I appreciate your patience. See you in the class tomorrow. Hey, let me tell you one other thing. Here is the code that we developed in the examples that we previously discussed. discussed, let's say these are the codes that we have developed, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to add those codes with these codes, all of the codes that we have developed so far. These codes will be available under this UFT tutorial page. And if you scroll down the bottom of the page, and the code will be available with corresponding videos. See, code for the above video, and also code for this video, and the video that we are creating right now, that code will be available under the video here. So if you need to download the code, come here and click on the link here, and then you will get the code and just use it in your example. Okay, so how you use it, let's say you have downloaded this code, and then yeah, this is the code. uh, Copy and then paste it in your copy and paste it in your actual test. Create a test in UFT and copy paste that code in your UFT. Again, thank you for watching.